Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I tell you what, we've got a bit of breaking news coming in from Plettigol, Florian Plettenberg, involving another striker that Manchester United have apparently officially registered interest in, and this time it's Hugo EKITIKE. Let's bring you the latest in relation to this because this has come out in the last few minutes. Manchester United have now officially entered the race for EKITIKE. United made contact with Frankfurt within the last 48 hours, expressed concrete interest and gathered all information. Price tag £85 million, 100 million euros. I mean, what are your thoughts to that? I mean, Florian Plettenberg, Sky Germany, has been quite good over the last couple of years around transfers, but there is the occasional, how do I word this? Nonsense. Because it's nonsense. It has to be nonsense. It has to be nonsense, doesn't it? We've also got an update on from the Portuguese press about Gyökeres and a bid that's been rejected. So we'll delve into that as well. But I feel like today, the 12th of June, will go down as the day we will forget, because I don't think anything significant is actually being reported. I feel like the Plettigol update around EKITIKE is because it's gone very quiet around EKITIKE. In fact, this afternoon, I literally was thinking about the transfer window going, what's happening with Mbeumo? What's happening with Sesko? Oh, what's happening with EKITIKE? I thought he was going to Chelsea or Liverpool. And then, lo and behold, boom, there you go. He's apparently officially interested in Manchester United. No, Manchester United are officially interested in him. I mean, look, Man United are panicking about raising the money for Gyökeres because Sporting want more than 60 million euros. They're not now about to double it and go, sod it, let's double up and go 100 million euros for EKITIKE. And also, he doesn't solve Man United's problems either. Very, very good player. But I don't think he's what Man United need. I think he's the sort of player that Newcastle did with Isak. And I know that worked really well, but Man United need experience. You need the Osimhen, you need the Gyökeres. I like EKITIKE. He probably goes to Liverpool and does really, really well. But for Manchester United, it just feels like another learner driver that might just, get swallowed up in the pressure of being a Man United striker. I don't believe this. I don't know what you think, but let's go back to the five transfers. We should call it that. 5 strands of a transfer. Total bollocks, total truth, agent-led, club-led, or I can't remember what the fifth one was. Agent-led, club-led, or looking for a new contract. He's not looking for a new contract. I think this is agent-led. I think it's gone quiet on EKITIKE and everyone's talking about Gyökeres. What's the job of an agent? It's like releasing a new album. Everyone's talking about your album, and then another album comes out, and another album comes out, and everyone's talking about that. And you're like, I've only just released mine. Let's get a bit of publicity. And I think that's just what this is all about. Obviously, Florian Plettenberg is a Sky Germany journalist based in Germany. So what else is in Germany? The club that Eintracht Frankfurt, the club that EKITIKE plays for. They want to maximise on this deal. And obviously, I think the stories around Gyökeres and Osimhen prevents that. So add Man United into the recipe and suddenly everyone takes a look. I mean, look, it's a frustration. It's also, it's a byproduct of being Manchester United. We're a huge club and this is why people talk about us. But the downside of that is that we get drawn into things that we're not involved in. And there's been countless examples of this over the years. But we can't afford EKITIKE. And why would he want to come to Man United? I don't think it's the same as Mbeumo or Cunha. I've never heard anything about him, having an obsession with playing for Manchester United. So I don't believe this. And even if I do believe it, I'll be interested to see what you think about it in the comments. But even if I did believe it, I don't actually want him over Gyökeres or Osimhen. And it's interesting in relation to Osimhen because I've seen more and more things this afternoon since our story this morning. I think United will be in talks about Osimhen, but he will have to do those two things we said this morning. He will either have to get realistic or also pledge that he wants to come to Manchester United. And if he does those two things, I think that United will proceed on that. Because guess what, everybody? The big mic drop here is Gyökeres and Osimhen are cheaper than EKITIKE. So, as for Gyökeres, it has come out in the last sort of, this afternoon, I would say, that I think it's come in from Record again, that Arsenal have put in a bid for Gyökeres that has been rejected. Figures presented by Arsenal were below what Sporting would want. Arsenal are prepared to raise their bid in the coming days. I said this morning, and I'm quite comfortable about this. I think that this rolls back to what you believe about Portuguese reports. And we will have people watching this show who are Portuguese football fans, and they will attest to what I'm about to say. They're not reliable. They're not reliable. It can be club led, it can be agent led, but I don't believe that Arsenal have put a bid in for Gyökeres at all. And I think if they had put a bid in, we'd hear it from Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein or somebody close to Arsenal. We wouldn't get an Arsenal bid without being told who'd put that bid in. So I don't for 1 minute think that has happened at all. I really, really don't. So I think, you know what I think it is? I think for some reason it's maybe because the transfer window is closed, but that shouldn't stop people negotiating. June can be slow. I've said this before. It's always a good time to go away on holiday the first week in June if you're in the business that I'm in, because it can be slow. Now, this one has actually been quite busy, but I think we've gone into a couple of days where it's slowed down a little bit. And the problem with when it's slow is you start to get a load of rubbish stories because agents are starting to panic going, oh, it's slowed down a little bit. How do we drum up a bit of interest? Oh, let's throw that Man United want EKITIKE. When financially we just haven't got the pull for that deal. And Arsenal haven't bid for Gyökeres, because if they had, I think we'd know about it. So I think that what's going on here is that we just have to be patient and see what's going to happen, because, as I say, we're not going to be in for EKITIKE unless we've just said we're not interested in Gyökeres. And as Fabrizio said yesterday, we spoke to them last week, we spoke to them at the weekend, and we spoke to them at the start of this week. It'd be very late to progress an EKITIKE deal. So yeah, I'm interested in that. Also, something else came out about Rashford. I don't know the source of this, but apparently Rashford has had a bit of a setback in his bid to sell. Sorry, Man United have suffered a setback in their bid to sell Rashford. Barcelona are only interested in a loan deal unless they've got scope to do business in the final days of the summer transfer window. I don't know the validity of that report, but it's interesting because it absolutely goes hand in hand with what we've been discussing for the last few weeks. It's a problem for Rashford. If Man United are banking on getting money for Rashford this summer, they're stupid. The positive of the Villa loan for me was that if the Villa had got Champions League football and he was happy, he might go to Villa for 40 million. Him being interested in Barcelona and them being interested in him is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare, and it's not good for him. Like, what's he going to do between July and August when Barcelona are waiting to the last few days of August? Like, what's he going to do about a pre-season? He's putting himself in a really difficult position because he needs to be part of a pre-season with somebody. And is he going to be part of Man United's pre-season? Are we going to just have an absolute media fest? I just think this is a mess. But I knew Barcelona would do this. I knew Barcelona would do what Barcelona do. Pull the big card of who they are and say we're not doing anything until the end of the window. And that's not good. I don't think that's good for Rashford, really. I really don't. But if you put your eggs all in one basket, then they've got the power, haven't they? So, look, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts. We're back at 8 o'clock live, of course. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. Do you believe this EKITIKE story? Do you believe that Arsenal have put a bid in for Gyökeres and had it rejected, and yet we've not heard it from any credible source over here? And do you believe that Rashford is going to still be a Man United player at the end of the window, waiting for Barcelona? Give us your thoughts on all three. I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care.